Oh, that actually was quite
That
loud.
was a very good snap, good connect there.
I'm gonna get us one of those little things,
Yes.
and I'll hold it up to the camera and be like, snap, take 75.
You are listening to Three Kitchens podcast, hosted by Heather Dyer and Erin Walker. To find our complete catalog of episodes, check out any of your favorite podcast players.
Or our website, threekitchenspodcast.com. All right, so here we are. It's a new year. Welcome to Three Kitchens in January 2025.
Yay! Here
Remember the
we
other day
are.
I jumped us ahead to 26.
Would we really even notice? Probably not. Just another year.
I mean, you can hope that maybe it would be better going into 2026 than it feels going into 2025. I don't know.
It's all just a dumpster fire, let's be honest.
I suppose so. Sad as that is.
I mean,
And
here we are with positivity for everybody.
well, I was going to say that's why
Mm,
people will be listening
mhm.
because what you need to escape the dumpster fire of the world is just some nice light talk about some yummy food and
Yeah.
escaping into our kitchens and creating something,
Yes.
ignoring what's outside.
We're here for a distraction.
Mhm.
I like
All
that.
right, so I was thinking that since it's January when this episode comes out, and we've just come through the holidays, there's been lots of baking and whatnot. Um, you know, maybe we need something light
Mm.
and some vegetables,
Oh, we need some vegetables.
something simple to make because we've been, making big dinners, we've been slaving over baking projects. Okay, so I thought I was going to make um, a twist on a coleslaw. It's using Brussels sprouts and there's a sesame dressing. So it's a little bit
Oh,
different, not your typical creamy slaw. So I have made something similar, but I usually just buy the bag of coleslaw, the cabbage and carrots from the
yes.
store
Yes.
because I'm too lazy to like get the Brussels sprouts and like shred them up but I'm going to do that this time. I'm gonna do it for you and you listener.
I have never considered using a Brussels sprout for a coleslaw before. And as you're saying this, I'm like, oh yeah, they are just little mini cabbages. I never really, you know, you
Yeah.
know me, I'm simple, Heather. I don't put two and two together very often.
Well, I don't know if they taste exactly the same to me.
That's true. That's true. They're a little like, because they're smaller, I feel like their flavors are higher concentrated.
Maybe. I think they're a little bit different. This salad has the Brussels sprouts plus cabbage and cucumber. It's also got a couple of other things in
Oh.
there we're going to go through in the second half. I will leave out the cilantro that happens to be in this because I know you don't like it. Look at that face you're making. What did cilantro ever do to you?
Entered my sensory system. Offended me greatly. I don't
Hmm.
know if I can see cilantro going with cabbage. I mean, I get
Oh,
it when it's with, oh,
because
yeah.
it's salad. Cilantro goes with any, it's a green, it's just an herb. Like, why wouldn't it?
I
Just
don't know.
because you don't like the taste of it doesn't mean it
Yeah,
doesn't
but I
go
can
with.
I can appreciate why you would want cilantro like in a salsa or in many of the other things we've made before. I'm like, man, I wish I liked the taste of cilantro because I think it has merit there.
Hmm.
This one I'm not convinced of. So,
I personally think cilantro goes
with everything.
anywhere with
Okay.
everything, pretty
Okay.
much. Better than, and apparently, um, I think it's the Brussels sprouts that they have a lot of chlorophyll in them,
Oh, okay.
which which is a blood builder, energy booster, detoxification type of ingredients. So I think some people will supplement what they're eating with chlorophyll, but you can get it from green veggies, right? It's like a,
It is the thing that is in the plant cell and not the animal cell that
yeah.
turns sunlight into starch.
Thank you, scientist Erin.
Nerd
Love it.
alert.
Love it. So, so this is another reason to be eating this. I mean, at any time, but at this
Hmm.
time of year when we all feel like we need a little detox, we
Mm.
need a little injection of some good green stuff. I mean, I hope it will taste good and also it's healthy and will get
Hmm.
us back on track for, you know, going
I
into the
think
new year.
if it's anything that helps with digestion at this time of year, I think we all know that we've hit an age where we need that shit.
Oh dear. Not talk about age. I have a birthday coming up.
Shh.
Gosh.
Don't worry, remember we talked about time is only an illusion, Heather.
Is middle age only an illusion as well? Because it feels very real.
Mm.
Okay, well, I'm going to go off and make us some nice healthy salad, and then we'll come back after a break and talk about whether we liked it or not.
I'm looking forward to this because even when I buy a whole head of cabbage, sometimes it's like, well, what do I do now with it? Because sometimes
Hmm.
those cabbages are larger than my head, which isn't hard since I got a little bit of a pin-shaped head. So, but then you have so much, I mean, you have so much
I
cabbage,
know.
and I want to change it up and do a different type of slaw. So I'm really pumped for this. I think this is going to be a great addition to the side of my plate.
Awesome.
Yay!
Check.
Ta-da!
Well, as it turns out,
Hmm.
and yeah, anyway, I couldn't find the recipe that I've made numerous times and really liked. And let this be a reminder to all of us who rely on online recipes. If you like something,
Mm.
save it offline. Take
I
a photo
print
of
that
it,
shit out all
print
the
it.
time.
Yeah. So this is me and a big old fail because I had to go find something that looked similar.
Mm.
It wasn't quite right to me, to me,
Right, because you had already had
because I had
previous
something else in
experience.
mind. And I don't know what site it was from or anything, and I could not find
Oh.
it, and it was really disappointing.
Hmm.
So,
So
lesson
then,
learned.
recipe binders.
You
Everybody
know what?
needs a
Yeah.
recipe binder because what I often do is I've got a binder and I print my recipes so that because they can be kind of long and take up a
Hmm.
lot of paper. So I often print them on the 2 pages per one sheet so that it like you get 4 pages if you print back to back.
Yeah.
And then you just have to make sure your font is big enough. Because
I was gonna say, as we were just talking about, you have to really squint at that little fine print. How many mushrooms? What?
yeah, exactly. Is that a 6 or an 8?
Oh no.
We're
But
young and
I've
hip.
added other things. I've added other things into the sleeves. Like I'll just print it and
Mm,
shove it in random places. But
right.
I don't make a habit of it, which is terrible because I just go to Pinterest and I find yeah, bad form, Dyer. Set the pace here. Okay. All right. So anyway, I found a recipe that looked similar.
Hmm.
I think it could be improved upon, but let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. So this is a Brussels sprout slaw. It is made with Brussels sprouts and cabbage. Of course, you could buy pre-shredded coleslaw in a bag. Totally can do that. Which I kind of do like because it has carrot, usually has purple and green cabbage and carrot in it, which is kind of nice to have a bit of
Yeah.
variety. But in this case, for us, I used Brussels sprouts and just the green, is it called green cabbage? It's not
I
white.
call it green
Yeah,
cabbage.
it's green. Okay. For some reason, I had a little
All of a
block
sudden.
there where I'm like, it's kind of white, isn't it? Oh God. Okay. All
Nope,
right.
you're safe. You're safe.
Cabbage. So you've got 2 cups whole Brussels sprouts. I think I
Hmm.
didn't measure my whole Brussels sprouts, but I think in the end I used about 18 or 20
Okay.
Brussels sprouts. Some of them were quite large.
Okay.
Really nice big fat Brussels sprouts. And then 3 cups of shredded cabbage or coleslaw. So
Okay.
I just chopped all of this up with a knife because, as I think I told you, my
Oh,
food
right.
processor bit the dust a while back and I haven't replaced it. And so I used just my knife and chop, 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 chop. Um,
I kind of like that kitchen work when you have to chop things up by hand and make it like really tiny. I don't know. I could get into
yeah,
I can spend quite a while just like trying to get it all tiny and fine and I don't know. I find that kind of work a little bit soothing if you're not on the clock and you're
yes.
just, you know,
Yeah, I
whipping this
agree.
up on a Tuesday afternoon or something, then it's
I
okay,
kind of
but
like I kind of like julienning
yes.
things into those little matchsticks. It's kind of
Yeah, you get
satisfying.
it is. It is super
Yeah.
satisfying.
Until you get to the end of something and it's like, oh, this is the wrong size or
Mm.
shape, and you're screwing with my symmetry. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I didn't go to any great effort with this slaw, so it was probably a bit random. Um, but anyways, do
It
your
was
best.
rustic. Rustic, Heather.
Yes,
Embrace the rustic.
it's rustic charm of a Brussels sprout slaw.
There we go.
Okay, there was also half a large cucumber, which
Oh,
I
okay.
kind of sliced up into pieces. I didn't worry too much about the size and shape of it. A cup of frozen and thawed mango, or 1 mango chopped up.
Okie
I had a fresh mango, so
dokie.
that's what I used.
That was the
Why do you seem
mystery fruit.
surprised? Oh,
I've had this slaw. It's been like, what, a week since he gave it to me, and I have been wondering wonders of what was the mystery fruit. So I am delighted to know that it was mango now.
is
I
it
did not suss it out.
weird? Was it tasteless? Was it like you couldn't tell that it was mango?
It was because there was so many it was the sweetness and it was slightly tart and it was also the other flavors that was in the sauce. I was really stumped.
Oh,
I totally
interesting.
stumped by that one.
Huh. Well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It was also supposed to have a cup of edamame.
Ooh, yeah.
I forgot to buy edamame, so we didn't have that in ours, but it would have been very good in there too. Usually you just buy them frozen and thaw them out and toss them
Mm,
in.
hmm.
Okay.
Wait, you don't have to cook them if they're frozen?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't believe you do.
I have
You just
never
thaw them out.
bought edamame.
I like to steam them if I'm gonna just eat them. Like, especially
Hmm.
when my kids were really small, I used to give them edamame all the time because they're
Oh,
really good for
nice.
you and they're easy for little kids to pick up and eat. And
Hmm.
my kids loved them. And I would just steam them
Mm,
really quick, like in the microwave with a bit of water,
right.
and then a tiny sprinkle of salt on them, and they're delicious. And my kids used to eat them all the time, and I've kind of forgotten about it now that they're bigger.
Hmm.
I should
Yeah.
eat them more.
They're not into finger foods as much now.
Well, they would eat them. They'd eat them with a fork.
Yeah, exactly. They're refined now.
Oh, so fancy, eating with a fork and everything. Okay. So you're going to mix together your vegetables with your mango, get that all ready to go. And then in a small frying pan, you're going to put in almonds, about a third of a cup, and let them toast a little bit for a couple of minutes. And when they're starting to turn a little bit brown, add some sesame seeds in there with them.
Yum.
Let me see, 2 tablespoons sesame seeds. And then when that's nicely toasty, toss that in your salad as well. If you use cilantro, 2 handfuls, chop it up, toss it in. I left it out, obviously, even though I do think it would be delicious.
Heart.
Big cilantro lover here, not there. I'm always looking out for you. I want you to eat it, so I'm not going to put it in
Well,
there. You can't pick it out. That would be
no,
impossible.
no.
So no, I'm not going to give you that. Okay. And then you're just going to combine your dressing ingredients in a jar, shake it up, and that is a tablespoon of chili paste or sriracha or your hot sauce of choice,
Cool.
2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons rice vinegar, a teaspoon of maple syrup, a tablespoon of sesame oil, and a tablespoon of water. That's your dressing. Shake it all up, pour it on, toss, toss, toss. There's your slaw.
Nice.
So that's it. It's very simple.
Hmm.
And it has lots of good veggies in there that are good for you, and a little hint of sweetness, like you said, with the mango. I
Hmm.
also tossed in some grapes that I cut in half,
That's right.
red grapes, purple grapes, whatever you call them, because I had them
Hmm.
and I thought it needed some color. It felt like that would be good in there, and so I tossed those in too.
Yeah.
That's it. Thoughts?
I'm so glad to know it was a mango now because I really could not
What were
figure it
you
out.
worried it was going to be?
I wasn't worried it was anything. I
Oh,
was like, what is this mystery fruit that I don't know? I don't know. I totally clued out on the mango, but it
okay.
was really good with the flavors that were in there. I I love the sesame oil in something like this. I don't know, it adds like that. And now that you say with the almonds and the sesame seeds, like there's that nuttiness and then the sweetness and then like the sour and the bitter. I don't know. For me,
Mhm.
I love a good slaw that kind of puts together all those taste groups. And with beans in this, that would be like a lunch. Like that's a meal. That
Yeah.
doesn't even have to go on the side. Like you can just make this, pack this, and go. I
Yeah.
like
And if you
that.
wanted, you could toss some rotisserie chicken on top
Oh, yeah.
or, whatever. It's like I said, it wasn't my favorite because I was thinking of this other one and I don't know what the difference is. I wish I knew what the difference was, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you figured out what you want to do differently, or is it just
no, I feel like
this isn't
something's
quite the same?
missing.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
but I don't know what. I know. I'd love to know if any listener has an
Hmm.
idea
Yeah.
for how to. I don't know. I feel like maybe the dressing just didn't have the level of like flavor that the other one
Hmm.
did. But also, when I made it before, I just used coleslaw. I didn't use the Brussels sprouts because
Right.
I was whatever, why.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure how I feel about raw Brussels sprouts. Now that I've now that I've
Hmm.
made the salad with them, I felt like they were almost too chewy.
They are quite bitter.
Uh-huh.
They've got a different texture. So you dropped mine off in our outdoor food receptacle, which is my barbecue.
Hmm.
And then later that day, because I was out, it was like nighttime. And I was like, oh no,
Oh
oh no, oh
no.
no, oh no.
It was cold out, so it was
And it
fine.
was, well, it was frosty in there. It had
Oh no,
frozen a
too
little
frosty.
bit.
Oh shit.
And I was
Oh
like,
no.
oh, dang, did I ruin this? Like, what's gonna. So I put it in the fridge and let it thaw overnight, just kind of, slowly come back up to temperature. Nothing seemed damaged from the freeze, but I wonder if it broke down the texture a little bit because I didn't find the texture super chewy. I just noticed that, like, it was a sharper, more intense kind of bitterness from the the Brussels sprout because it was kind of a rock by the time I got it out of the oven.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
Maybe I
It just
should have
happened to
knocked.
be
I
super
didn't knock on the
cold.
door because it was first thing in the morning, and I'm like, they're probably in their jammies. I could see through the window somebody was watching cartoons, and I was
Oh,
like, no, no, I'm just gonna pop it in and text her and
you should have just messed up your hair and knocked on the window and been like, rah, and terrified my
scare the crap.
child. He needs a good shock every once in a while.
Well, I just found like the
Hmm.
a fresh raw Brussels sprout is takes a bit more work to chew. I'm
Yeah.
sounding like an old person with dentures or something, but it's like I was thinking like if your resolutions are for the new year to eat healthy and exercise, well, you're getting both of those in this because you're getting a workout with your jaw and you're eating healthy.
You're getting those muscles going.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how I feel about the texture of a
Oh.
raw Brussels sprout,
Hmm.
but it was fun to try. I think if I figure out the dressing, I will probably just go back to using coleslaw, like
Right.
cabbage, carrot, or even broccoli slaw. Have you ever had that?
Broccoli slaw is really good. Really
That would
good.
be better, I think. Also, as a,
I'll be giving this one a try. Test it out on
well,
them.
yeah, and I'd be curious to know what you think of how you might switch up the dressing if you do.
Hmm.
Okay, well,
So I was going to mention that a guest that we had on earlier this season from Partake. Gosh, what I am.
Megan,
Okay, that was
yeah.
my feel, but I wasn't going to go for it. Okay, Megan from Partake was saying one of her favorite things is making a slaw for a side. So I wonder if she would have some tips on what her favorite slaws are. So
Hmm.
maybe
Yeah.
we'll put it out in the universe and she'll come back with some
This is a test to find out if Megan is listening. Do you listen to the podcast, Megan Gall from Partake Meal Planning?
Megan, we are calling.
Test, test. Well, now we'll find out. Poor Megan. Put her on the spot, why don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? I
Well, I
love
do
having
think,
something crisp and fresh on the side because I get really tired of boiled, broiled, and baked vegetables. So,
okay, well, I give this one on the whole like a 7 out of 10. I'm going to start rating all my own
I was gonna say,
attempts at recipes.
can we come up with a little like rating system where we have like your face? Like, this is 7 Heathers out of 10.
Yes. Or maybe not my face. I don't know if anybody wants to see my little head popping up on the. How many? Well, you have to do the same then. If I do it, so do you.
Hey, come on. That's not fair.
Oh, I won't rate yours, only rate my own. You have to rate your own.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
And now for the fine print. Links to recipes and other things we talked about in this episode can be found in the show notes or on our website, www.threekitchenspodcast.com. Come say hello on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok. We'd love to connect. And if you enjoy the show, pass it on. Word of mouth is the #1 way people learn about new podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.